Welcome to the Our Team Podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you. Welcome back to the Our Team Podcast. I am Eric Johnson. With me is Stephanie Winter. Don't put the ass on it.
No
She
ass.
gets mad.
This cannot be duplicated.
But with that being said, today I wanted to have a conversation about the pros and cons of being a solo agent or being a team agent, and then your experience as being both, because I know you have done both. Mm-hmm. Let's start out with solo agents. What would you say a pro set of factors are versus a con?
Autonomy. You get to do whatever you want. I personally don't have I didn't have a lot of perks. I didn't like being a solo agent. I don't like being a solo agent. I started off as a solo agent, joined a team because I wanted to learn as much as I could, as fast as I could. Joined several teams to get different, knowledge, and then had some life changes and moved up to Marietta Temecula. And when I moved up to Marietta Temecula, I left the team that I was with in San Diego and joined a brokerage up here and went as a solo agent because I wasn't sure how much I would be able to commit to real estate. And I had a family member that was sick, and that was my priority. And so I went solo agent at that time just because I wanted to maintain my real estate license, but I wasn't heavily focused on real estate at the time.
So money or marketing or none of those things were concerns or thought processes of becoming a solo agent?
I mean, they were, but at that time I had been on several teams and I was over the team environment. I was over like the drama. Just teams have different things, and when you get a lot of people together and it's growing, I'd been involved in a lot of drama and I didn't want to do any of that. And so that was why I went solo for a while, because I didn't want to be attached to anyone else. I didn't want to have to go by somebody else's rules. I didn't want to get sucked into someone else's opinions or drama, or I learned enough of the business at that point that I could do the business on my own. I knew the transactions. I knew the contract. I'd been through, 20 transactions at that point. And so I knew what I was doing well enough. But then when I came up to Riverside Temecula, and also I didn't know, my whole real estate circle was in San Diego. I didn't have a lot of real estate connections in Riverside or Temecula. I had few, but no one that I knew that was up to the same caliber of what I had been working with in San Diego. And so I just felt like it was better to go off on my own because I knew enough at that time.
It's good to know everything that you already need to know.
Yeah.
Not the things that you don't know yet.
Yeah. And so then I was a solo agent I joined several different brokerages to try different things. And then the pandemic hit and it was isolation, and I was a solo agent. I was isolated, and then 2021 happened and the market picked up and it was moving so quickly, and the velocity of the market, and there was money flying around everywhere. And I just did not have a grip on it. I did not have the knowledge base for Riverside County. The taxes are different. The neighborhoods are different. I've lived here my whole life, and it was hard for me to shift from a local perspective to a real estate perspective. I don't know if that makes sense, because I never paid attention to real estate when I was a kid living up here. My parents lived in the same house for 30 years. I'd never been to an open house before I got my real estate license. So I didn't know. I came from a 10-year restaurant background. I had absolutely no experience being in real estate. And I just wanted to learn as much as I could. So I joined one of the most popular brokerages. I started as a solo agent. I went to all of the trainings, and people saw that I was motivated and excited, and I didn't have a sphere or a warm market in San Diego. And so I got hooked up with a team that had Zillow leads, and they were working with Boomtown, which had awesome SEO and conversion at the time. Loved Boomtown. And so I was doing really great. Because I was great in customer service. I had a retail and hospitality background. I knew how to talk to people, but I didn't know how to build a business. I didn't know how to run a business. And that took me some time. So joining a team allowed me to use my customer service skills while learning how to run a business and like self-manage myself. Actually in 2019, so I was a solo agent and I had started doing really well in 2019 as a solo agent. I was working my sphere. I was getting referrals. I got a couple of listings. I had a broker who was feeding me online leads still because he knew I could convert. And so I had a couple of those. But then the pandemic hit and I'm an extrovert and isolation happened. And I went feral. I was self-employed. I don't have children. I didn't have to deal with the school system. I saw everything going on in the world. And like, I'm an individual person. I can go out on my own, have my own thoughts, very independent, and just kind of went feral and really felt like I need to get into a group of people. Like I have been solo long enough. I went solo. I wanted to see if I could do it myself. I did it. I created my own branding. I had my own open house signs. Did I have open house signs?
I'm sure you had open house signs along with business cards, and they were probably both very similar.
I'm sure I did because I think I remember throwing out like 30 open house signs. Yeah, no, I did. No, I did my own branding. I had, open house signs, business cards, stickers, all the stuff. But I was lonely. It wasn't fun. I don't like the creative process and going through transactions. Like transactions are hard and they can be emotional. I mean, you're facilitating the largest purchase of someone's life and it does carry an amount of stress, and being able to being in a team where you can just bounce ideas off of somebody, like having Brian and Lorianne and their 20 plus years of experience in transactions and knowing the area, and also a lot of the vendors and other agents in the area. It had more advantage to it. I did not have any advantage by myself as a solo agent when my broker was in San Diego. I didn't have the connections. I didn't have the camaraderie. I didn't have the networking. I had been out of this area for 10 years and I knew a lot of people, but I didn't know the real estate industry. And the tempo is different. It's different from San Diego to up here. And I didn't acclimate as quickly. I don't know how, And I was lonely. I didn't know where else to go. And I knew I wanted to join a team. I felt like I was not having any success. There was so much business going on and I was not getting any of it. And that sucked because I'm a great agent and I was working with buyers and I was submitting offers and I was not getting my offers accepted. And it was really hard. And then, oh my gosh, I went on a vacation and I didn't have anyone to help me while I was on vacation for a week. And I lost my clients that I had been working with. I tried to leverage. I paid someone $200 to show houses to a lady who freaked out. I had another client who ran off and bought a house with another agent while I was out of town that weekend. And I just felt completely helpless, I guess, kind of pulled in all the directions and couldn't really keep it together and just wanted more stability. And then I met Brian and Lorianne and they were with EXP, which I knew was a great company that I wanted to be with. I was looking for a team at EXP at the time. And fortunately, we reconnected through a mutual friend. And they were establishing an office because I knew I wanted brick and mortar as much as EXP is an online cloud-based brokerage. I looked at the EXP model several years prior and that didn't attract me. I like having an office. I like having another space to go to outside of my house. I like working from home and I like getting out of my house too. So it was really awesome to have an office with team and other agents and I love to learn. I love to know as much as I can know. So I love collecting all of the information and being a resource and being a source of data. So being in a new office with new agents who want to learn that I can help, that feeds my soul.
Solo agents do have their time and their place. Maybe not when you're a brand new agent. Maybe it really does come down to joining a team to have the collaboration, the marketing, the branding, the availability, because if you're not available, there's somebody that can help pick up the slack, as well as the training and development. Having the right brokerage and people to train and develop you as a solo agent, it's possible.
Oh yeah, it's a learning curve and there's no guarantee that your escrow is going to close.
Well, I didn't want to put that out there. I just wanted to say 30 to 45 days.
Ideally.
Yes. And what if it falls through? Then you're just stuck.
Yeah, you have to have enough reserves to have patience because you can't have commission breath. That's not good for anyone.
No, it doesn't look good. It looks desperate, actually.
And I know the big drawback for joining a team is the splits, right? Like we don't want to give up splits, and that's why people go solo agent. That's why they get their broker license, right? So you can get 100% of it. And yeah, I mean, with the broker, with the team, there's definitely a shared of the wealth. And with that, I know that myself as a solo agent would not do the same amount of production that I can do while being on a team. So although I'm giving up a chunk of my money or however, it's an investment, and I feel like I get a lot out of that just in terms of stabilizing my business, giving me a peace of mind, knowing that I have an office to go to, knowing that I have marketing that I can rely on, knowing that I can set up a training session with one of them, or if I have a question on a transaction or my website. I also, I can also operate as an independent agent, though. I know I can call Car Legal. I know how to go down to the board. So it's just, who are you and where are you at in your business? What are you capable of? What do you need from your business? For me, it's worth it for me to have a split so that I can have a team. I'm not just in it for the money, right? Life is about the journey. Yes, we have to make money. Yes, that's very important. That's definitely very important. But how do you make your money? I want to enjoy making money. I want to have a good time doing it. And when I'm by myself, I don't have as much fun doing it.
Well, it's also harder. I mean,
it's hard. There's so many moving parts to these transactions. There's so many things we can't see. And a rising tide lifts all ships. Like when we work together, the power of numbers, just even watching our roundtable discussions with newer agents and just the perspective of the experience, it's invaluable.
Well, I've always said when talking to team members, when they say, oh, I don't like the splits, I'm going to go off on my own, I go, okay, cool. There's a lot of things to consider. And one of them is, who are you going to use as your resource? Because when a hiccup occurs, I have 19 people I can talk to. I mean, and with somewhere between 5 and 40 years of experience in the business. I mean, that's invaluable.
And let me correct myself. Money is important. Money is very important. And what I know about myself is that I don't make as much by myself as I do when I'm enjoying myself working with other people.
Well, I don't think anybody was trying to take it. The money wasn't the number one thing.
Well, I didn't want to say that. Like, I was saying it like, oh, money's not important. Like, no, it's very important. And that's why I chose a team, because I was not thriving by myself. I was struggling by myself. I was lonely. I had an amazing broker who would answer all of my questions, but he's a broker. He's got 20 years. He's running at his own pace. I needed someone who was still new with me, because when I get to help a new agent, then it makes me feel like, okay, yeah, I do know what I'm doing. Like, this is, because some days you feel like the expert, and other days you feel like you're just in over your head. Honestly, that's the commotion that we love. If I wanted stability, I would have been if I wanted something consistent, I would have been an accountant, right? That doesn't fit my personality. So I love the ever-changing, the constant nuances, everything being new and different. And I love sharing that with other people who are excited about the industry as well. Taylor Swift says, T-Swift? Yeah. She says, the worst kind of person is someone who makes fun of somebody for being excited about something. And I want to be excited with other people who are excited about what I'm excited about, because that makes me more excited. And then when I'm excited and they're excited, then we can go out into the marketplace and be more excited and create a better marketplace. So if I'm at home by myself, I'm getting in my own head, I have low energy, I'm an extrovert, I energize off other people's energy. And the isolation of the pandemic had me going nearly feral, and I needed to be socialized.
I think that really talks about the aspects that being solo, you are reliant on yourself. It's just as the name says, it's all on you. And you get to take all the money, but you also get to lose all the money.
Yeah, and you can go through seasons of life. I've been in a season of life where I was a solo agent, and that worked for me. That was good because I had other things going on. And I was still able to carry some business, do some deals. And what I learned after that is that I wasn't as focused in the business because I could get distracted and go do whatever I wanted. And real estate is a very diverse business. That's one of the beautiful things about real estate. It's like a blank canvas and you have a few guidelines, but you can basically create whatever you want. You have all different kinds of teams. You've got your mega teams, which have different roles and run kind of like a corporation. And then you have your smaller teams like us, where we're a little bit more like kind of like family and culture. And, your medium-sized teams where they have like different layers. And I've looked at a lot of these different structures. I've been in a lot of these different structures. I've seen what works and what doesn't work. Nothing's a perfect system. You're working with human behavior. So, and it's a very ever-changing industry, but I do think that teams are going to be the future of real estate. And I think that's something very important that we need to look at is like historically, real estate has been an individual business where they did not have the MLS. They did not have co-brokers going on. They didn't have
There's a book of
this
business
shared,
and this is all you had.
So since I've been in since 2014, I mean, Zillow launched 2011. And so that's 3 years in. Old school agents are still up in arms. Since I got started in 2014 to now, over the pandemic, we've lost a year of experience in agents. The average agent previously had 9 years of experience. Now the average agent has 8 years of experience. So when I got started in the industry, I was dealing with agents that had gone through the 2007, gone through the 2008, survived it. And they were hardcore agents. They fucking hustled. They worked. And old school was like leads, listings, leads, listings, leverage, leads, listings, leverage. You're the agent. You're a listing agent. Listings. And that's something Gary Keller will preach in Millionaire Real Estate Agent. You get leads and then you get listings, and that's how you get leverage. You leverage your listings. And so if you're not getting listings, you're not really an agent, right? If your leads aren't giving you listings, you've got to have listings. Listings drive the market. Listings drive the economy. Teams are really the way of the future, I think, the way the market is going. And Tom Ferry drives that as well. Tom Ferry is one of the, great real estate coaches of our time. And Gary Keller as well. Keller Williams was built upon the team model. EXP is being built on the team model. Real is being built on the team model. The team model is the way to go right now.
Team model makes the most sense. It does allow for something that we didn't touch on, but we can touch on it briefly, which is allows you to specialize. It really suits even like the mega teams or, your small teams to your large teams where everything has a specialization. Mm-hmm. You can have a listing agent. You can have a seller, seller's agents. You have a marketing department. You can have, a legal resource department. And keep everything in-house, but not exactly. If you had to say one thing over the whole topic, what would your final thought be?
I would say if you're thinking about getting into real estate and you're not sure if a team or if going solo is going to be best for you, maybe take an inventory of what makes you happy. When are you most productive? What's your personality type? Take the DISC test. So I think Ds, as a, if you're doing the DISC profile, Ds are going to be awesome independent agents. That's what it's designed for. And as we go into more of a team structure, as the market is more advantageous to be on a team, you're going to see more Is in the market. And especially with social media, with the advent of social media marketing, it's really giving Is the advantage over Ds in the market.
Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us and make sure you watch the DISC episode that we did with Stephanie as well. Thank you for your time, and we will do this again. How would they find you?
#know-it-all. Instagram, Steph Winter from this podcast, just Steph Winter.
Hey, wait, before you go,
thanks,
would you do us a favor? If you found any value in this content, would you please like and subscribe to it? Maybe even leave a comment? It really helps us out.